doing what's called a garlic mustard pull. So we're pulling up garlic mustard, which is an invasive species that grows all around the city, and we're doing it here at Parker's Picnic Grounds.
What happens is it's really aggressive, it produces a lot of seed, and it will invade and take over in open woodlands like this until that's the only thing in the understory. It'll crowd out the native wildflowers, and it will crowd out the native oak seedlings.
This was organized as an Earth Day event. We wanted to have a nice event that we could kind of tie into it. So this garlic mustard pull was organized by the Sustainability Commission in the city to get members of the public out here to learn a little bit about invasive species and to help us take care of some garlic mustard.
It comes up in the spring, and actually it can stay green all winter long, but in the spring it has what's called a basal rosette, about this big around, and it's just sort of a round distribution of leaves right near the ground. Then in April it starts to grow up taller, and it will shoot a flowering stalk up in May that will be about 3 or 4 feet tall with a bunch of white wildflowers. That will go to seed in June or July. So if we can control it by stopping it from going to seed, or by pulling up it by the roots in the basal rosette stage before it flowers, we can keep it from coming back. You can use a string trimmer and just mow it down like the grass. And if you do that, you might have to cut it off 2 or 3 times a year, because it will still come back and try to flower and go to seed. But the next year, then that plant is dead and you're dealing with a new crop. Eventually, it will reduce itself and you won't have to do it anymore. Or you can also spray it. You can use a broadleaf herbicide if there's nothing else growing around it. The most precise way is to just pull it up by the roots. Well, you have to just keep coming back and keep pulling it up, because there will be some stragglers even after you go through and control it. There'll be some seed that still germinates and it will still come back. But over time, the level of effort really drops off.
So the area we're working in is actually part of a project area where there's a large 20-acre project going on in the River Valley that the city has paid a contractor to start working on. This project is to essentially bring back a large chunk of Parker's Picnic Grounds to its native prairie oak savanna state that you would have had 170 years ago on this site. So this is one of those key areas, and it's the latest project that we're working on, that we've had going on in the valley. It's going to be about a year or so before the project's over, but this volunteer effort is an important part of it in taking care of some of these invasive species. We're planning on a lot more of these types of events in the future, both here and in other areas as well.
I think one of the reasons it's important to control garlic mustard is that native vegetation communities tend to be associated with healthy societies. And so right now, Bloomington's got a very vibrant society, and in part due to our natural history. If we don't maintain our natural history, I think our way of life is at risk as well.